सड़कन पे यू है जी, टोल टैक्स दुनिया भर के, रोड टूटी पड़ी है, जाम लगे पड़े हैं, ड्राइवर कोई बूझने वाला नहीं है। किंग को कोई टेढ़ा भी हो जाए पुलिस आ जाओ को। कितनी कंप्लेंट लगा लिया पुलिस वाले थाने में, सुनवाई नहीं है, कतई भी नहीं है।
जी हाँ, इंटरनेशनल रोड यूनियन जो यूरोपियन ट्रांसपोर्टर्स और ट्रकर्स की सबसे बड़ी संस्था है, वो भी कोशिश कर रही है कि ड्राइवर्स को बेहतर पार्किंग स्पेसेस दी जाए, बेहतर फैसिलिटीज़ दी जाए।
Whenever it reached the dealership, our team also went to the dealership, and that is where physically on the job training was done.
गुड मॉर्निंग फ्रेंड्स, मैं हूं गिरीश मीरचंदानी और एक बार फिर आप सबका स्वागत है ट्रांस इंडिया में रियल पीपल रियल इमोशंस। दोस्तों, सबसे पहले मैं इस देश के ही नहीं बल्कि सारे दुनिया के ट्रक ड्राइवरों को ड्राइवर्स डे की हार्दिक बधाई देता हूं। ये आप लोगों की कड़ी मेहनत और कड़ी परिश्रम का नतीजा है कि हमारे घरों तक, हमारे कंपनियों तक, देश के और दुनिया के हर कोने तक सामान पहुंचता है। इस कोविड के दौरान शुरुआत के कुछ महीनों में ट्रक्स ही थे जो लोगों तक दवाई पहुंचा रहे थे, और आज भी जो करोड़ों वैक्सीन देश भर में और दुनिया भर में पहुंच रहे हैं, कहीं ना कहीं उसमें एक ट्रक ड्राइवर का हाथ है। आप लोगों को हम सल्यूट करते हैं और आपके सामने हम नमन करते हैं कि आपका जो कंट्रीब्यूशन है वो सिर्फ देश की अर्थव्यवस्था के लिए नहीं बल्कि हमारे रोज़ के जीवन में उसका बहुत बड़ा योगदान है। हमारे जीवन में भी उसका योगदान बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण है। दोस्तों, 17 सितंबर को जब ड्राइवर्स डे मनाया गया, कुछ ट्रांसपोर्ट कंपनीज़ ने अपने ड्राइवर्स के लिए खास प्रोग्राम का आयोजन किया। पलिया ट्रांस लॉजिस्टिक्स ने गुड़गांव में एक पूरा मल्टीप्लेक्स थिएटर बुक किया जहां पर ड्राइवर्स ने मूवी देखी और साथ ही साथ कंपनी के टॉप मैनेजमेंट के साथ भोजन किया। उसी के साथ कई और कंपनियां थीं, ओम लॉजिस्टिक्स, डोगरा ग्रुप ऑफ कंपनीज़, ऐसी कई ट्रांसपोर्ट कंपनीज है जिन्होंने अपने ड्राइवर्स के लिए कुछ प्रोग्राम का आयोजन किया। लेकिन दुख की बात है दोस्तों, हम इसे ड्राइवर्स डे तो कहते हैं, लेकिन महज मुट्ठी भर कंपनियों ने अपने ड्राइवर्स के लिए कुछ उस दिन किया। हमारे देश में हज़ारों ट्रांसपोर्ट एसोसिएशंस हैं, ट्रकर एसोसिएशंस हैं जिनके साथ ड्राइवर्स जुड़े हुए हैं। हम ये शान से कहते हैं कि हम ट्रांसपोर्ट कंपनीज, ट्रकर्स और ड्राइवर्स के हित की बात करते हैं, लेकिन क्या हम खुद ड्राइवरों के लिए कुछ करते हैं? क्या हम ड्राइवर्स डे के दिन एटलीस्ट उन ड्राइवर्स के लिए इतने ट्रांसपोर्ट नगर हैं, क्या वहाँ पर हम किसी प्रोग्राम का आयोजन करते हैं? ट्रक ड्राइवर्स देश के फ्यूचर के लिए उतने ही ज़रूरी हैं जितने कि हमारे सरहद पर सिपाही हैं। हम ट्रक ड्राइवर्स के कंट्रीब्यूशन को नज़रअंदाज नहीं कर सकते हैं। बट ऑल सेड एंड डन, वी कैन नॉट इग्नोर द फैक्ट दैट नॉट ओनली इंडिया बट शॉर्टेज ऑफ ड्राइवर्स इज़ अ प्रॉब्लम दैट इज़ डिस्टर्बिंग द एंटायर वर्ल्ड, बी इट USA, be it Europe or any other part of the world. ड्राइवर शॉर्टेज एक बहुत बड़ी समस्या है। आप हमारे भारत में ही देख लीजिए, आप किसी भी हाईवे पर जाइए, ड्राइवर्स के लिए कोई फैसिलिटी नहीं है। टूटे फूटे ढाबे हैं जहाँ पर किसी तरह ड्राइवर आराम तो कर लेता है, लेकिन उसके दिमाग में एक बात हमेशा चलती रहती है कि क्या मेरा ट्रक या ट्रक के अंदर का माल सुरक्षित है। हर चेक पोस्ट पर पहुंचने के पहले या हर फ्लाइंग स्क्वाड की जीप देखते ही ड्राइवर के दिमाग में एक ही चीज़ आती है, ये अफसर मेरे साथ क्या सलूक करेगा। पैसे तो लेगा ही दोस्तों, लेकिन साथ ही साथ आप जानते हैं मैं क्या कहना चाह रहा हूँ। हम बात करते हैं ड्राइवर शॉर्टेज की। कहाँ से आएंगे नए ड्राइवर? हमारे देश में आप अगर देखें तो मुश्किल से 10 या 12 ड्राइवर ट्रेनिंग इंस्टीट्यूट्स होंगे, और ड्राइवरों की संख्या जो हमें चाहिए वो उससे बहुत ज़्यादा है। दिक्कत ये है कि आज के दिन पे दिक्कत ये है कि आज के दिन कोई भी आदमी या कोई भी ट्रक ड्राइवर अपने बच्चों को ड्राइवर नहीं बनाना चाहता है। हमने कुछ ड्राइवरों से बात की और उनका ये कहना था।
अच्छा बुलंदशहर, तो जाते हो, घर जाते हो, गांव जाते हो कभी?
हाँ, गांव में भी जाते हैं जी, दोनों जगह बराबर हैं, यहाँ भी और गांव में भी।
तो कितनी देर में घर जाने को मिलता है आपको?
पहुँच जाओ जी, 2-1 महीने में जो छुट्टी उट्टी से मिल जाए, मालिक दे देता।
अच्छा, तो महीने में एक आध चक्कर तो लग ही जाते हैं?
ना, महीने में खैर 2-1 महीने में लगे।
घर पे कौन कौन है आपके?
भाई भी हैं, माँ बाप भी हैं,
बीवी बच्चे
सब हैं।
बच्चे क्या 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 करते हैं आपके?
लड़का ने भी फार्मा कर लिया, 2 लड़कियाँ बस।
आपने कभी सोचा नहीं कि बेटे को भी ड्राइवर बनाओ, या सोचा इसको बनाना ही नहीं है ड्राइवर?
मैं ही तंग हूँ।
क्यों तंग हो? 30 साल हो गए हैं आपको।
मैं ही तंग हूँ। 4,000 की सैलरी, 4,000 की सैलरी से लगा हो, आज 8,000 सैलरी है 30 साल में। बाल करने क्या खवाएंगे?
4,000 में शुरू किया था और आज कितना है?
8,000। मजदूरी बढ़ती ना, हर चीज भैंचत। कल वीर बॉनी न्यू कह रही फाइंड लिए न्यू पैसा ही ना कि 200 रुपये थैली आ रही है भैंचत। सरसों का तेल 200 रुपया को कहाँ से ले आएगा आदमी?
सड़कों पे क्या दिक्कतें होती हैं आपको?
सड़कन पे यू है जी, टोल टैक्स दुनिया भर के, रोड टूटी पड़ी है, जाम लगे पड़े हैं, ड्राइवर कोई बूझने वाला नहीं है। किंग है को कोई टेढ़ा भी हो जाए, पुलिस आ जाओ को। कितनी कंप्लेंट लगा लिया पुलिस वाले, थाने में सुनवाई नहीं है, कतई भी नहीं है। पहले ही तनमनक, अब नहीं है बिल्कुल भी। पैसा वाले से बात करते हैं।
मेरा लड़के की बड़े की उम्र 8 वर्ष थी। उसने कहा पापा ठेला कहाँ है? मैंने कहा क्या करोगे? कहने जाएंगे। मैं कहा सुनो, जब तुम्हें ये पता लग जाए ना कि तुम्हारा बाप मर गया है और गाड़ी से नीचे उतार के रख लिया है, तब जाना ठेला के पास। पहले चले गए तो सल्फाज खा के मर जाऊंगा। आना मत इसके पास।
बड़ी गाड़ी वाले के लिए
कोई फैसिलिटी नहीं है इसमें,
छोटी गाड़ी बड़ा ठोक दे,
कोई नियम नहीं है।
तो बोल दे बड़ी कसूर, बड़ी गाड़ी का
खाने का पता नहीं, सोने का पता नहीं, नहाने का पता नहीं।
कमा के देना और उसमें भी ड्राइवर को बेईमान बनना सबसे बड़ी खासियत है।
आज तक किसी सरकार ने कोई कभी ये बात करी? कभी ये ड्राइवर 24 घंटे ड्यूटी देता है, 24 घंटे में इसकी इतनी सैलरी होनी चाहिए, नहीं करी। सरकार ट्रांसपोर्ट की तरफ देखती है,
ट्रांसपोर्ट की तरफ भी देखना
छोड़ दिया, बिल्कुल खत्म था। हाँ, और आया तो मैंने उसको ये कहा कि जूते पे पॉलिश कर लेना, वो अच्छा रहेगा। शाम को घर तो पहुंच जाएगा 200 रुपये कमा के, पर यहाँ तू 2,000 कमाएगा जरूर, लेकिन घर का दरवाजा तेरे को नसीब नहीं होगा। माँ तेरी यहाँ मर जाएगी, तू गुवाहाटी में होगा। बाप तेरा मर जाएगा, दफन और आग लगाने को नहीं मिलेगी तेरे को।
ये फैक्ट है।
जिसने भी बनाए हो वो मैं नहीं कहूँगा, लेकिन मैंने अपनी लाइफ में एक को भी ड्राइवर नहीं बनाया। मेरे गांव के अंदर मेरा भाई ड्राइवर है और मैं, बस 2 ही। 1500 की आबादी में तीसरा ड्राइवर नहीं। भाई भी वो दूसरे एक सरदार जी थे, उनके साथ चला गया था तो बन गया था, नहीं तो नहीं। मैंने कहा इस क्रम में मत आ जाना भूल के भी।
देखो जी, अभी हमारे बच्चे छोटे ही हैं, बाद में 2 लड़कियां बड़ी हैं। बड़ी लड़की जो है M.Com करी है, अभी दिसंबर में पेपर होगा।
अच्छा।
और छोटी वाली अरबिंदो कॉलेज मालवीय नगर से BA ऑनर्स करी है।
अच्छा।
3 साल का होता है ना, ये तीसरी साल है अभी।
अच्छा।
उसका भी पेपर
अच्छा
हुआ है सर। बड़ा लड़का इस साल 12वीं में गया है।
अरे वाह।
छोटा लड़का 7वीं में है। पर अब ऐसा है कि प्राइवेट में नहीं पढ़ा सकते, ये ड्राइवरी करके नहीं पढ़ा सकते, तो सरकारी में अब डाल दिए। प्राइवेट में डाल रखा था दून भारती पब्लिक स्कूल में, पल्ला फरीदाबाद में। वहाँ एक छोटा सा प्लाट है, कहने का मतलब हमारा 35-40 गज का, उसी में मकान बनाया हूँ।
अच्छा।
तो बाकी जो है कनिमल झुग्गियों में रहता था, संजय कॉलोनी दिल्ली में। वहाँ से करने का मतलब मैं झुग्गियों का माहौल देखा, तो अपना वहाँ बना लिया। मैंने कहा झुग्गियों में बच्चे जो है इनका परवरिश सही नहीं होगा। 4 भतीजे थे, भतीजों को पढ़ाया।
अच्छा,
2 भतीजे फौज में हैं, एक जो है जम्मू में है, ये लद्दाख साइड में।
अच्छा,
एक इधर क्या नाम है आपका, गोपालपुर है उड़ीसा में, वहाँ है। एक मारुति में है।
अच्छा,
एक गांव में है।
Friends, driver shortage has been a problem and will continue to be a problem for some years to come. But we have to make changes. और ये changes इंडिया में ही नहीं बल्कि बाकी देशों में भी वहाँ के एसोसिएशंस, वहाँ की गवर्नमेंट कोशिश कर रही है कि ड्राइवर्स को सहूलियतें दी जाएं, ड्राइवर्स को हाईवेज पर वो फैसिलिटी दी जाए जिससे वो आराम से अपना काम कर सके, ज़्यादा घंटों तक ट्रक चला सके और इस देश की अर्थव्यवस्था को जारी रख सके। इंडिया में ही नहीं लेकिन बाहर देशों में भी कई ऐसे अटेम्प्ट्स हो रहे हैं कि ड्राइवर्स को बेहतर फैसिलिटीज़ दी जाए, सिक्योर्ड पार्किंग प्लेसेस दी जाए। फॉर एग्जांपल, द इंटरनेशनल रोड यूनियन एंड ETF, which is Europe's Transport Workers Federation, have welcomed the Europe Commission's launch of a call for proposals to access 100 million euros in Connecting Europe facility funding to improve the network of safe and secure truck parking areas across the European Union. Investment priorities include the development of new safe and secure transport parking. Investment priorities include the development of new safe and secure truck parking areas approximately every 100 kilometers along the 10T core road network and upgrades to safety, security and services in existing rest areas in line with the EU funded study on EU parking standards that IRU participated in. जी हाँ, इंटरनेशनल रोड यूनियन जो यूरोपियन ट्रांसपोर्टर्स और ट्रकर्स की सबसे बड़ी संस्था है वो भी कोशिश कर रही है कि ड्राइवर्स को बेहतर पार्किंग स्पेसेस दी जाएं, बेहतर फैसिलिटीज़ दी जाएं। इन अ स्टेटमेंट, Raluca Marian, IRU's Director of EU Advocacy, said, "This newly dedicated EU funding for SSTPAs is excellent news for the commercial road transport industry. We are looking forward to a maximum deployment of new parking projects and call on member states to work closely with interested parties to apply to the EU's call for proposals. This opportunity can make a huge difference for drivers and operators in the coming years." At the same time, Christina Tilling, ETF's head of land transport, said, "Sufficient safe and secure parking areas provided with adequate facilities will certainly be a step towards improvement of driver conditions in the road sector. So we can only welcome this initiative." Back home, friends, on International Drivers' Day, CII Institute of Logistics and Bridgestone India, a global leader in tires and sustainable mobility solutions, launched a road transport and logistics excellence initiative. The first program as part of this initiative is aimed at recognizing and appreciating the key role of drivers. Subsequent programs will also focus on areas related to research to gain insights with the aim of addressing the image of professionals in this sector, road safety, fuel efficiency, tire mileage, and overall cost optimization. A professional drivers platform called the Drivers Guild will be established, connecting multiple locations to expand developmental initiatives in association with various regional stakeholders in road transport sector. Mr. Parag Satpute, Managing Director of Bridgestone India, said, "Commercial vehicle drivers play a significant yet unsung role in keeping the economy going and are seldom recognized for their efforts. This platform will result in enhancing the motivation of the driver community and at the same time build a safe and sustainable environment for the complete transport and logistics ecosystem. These drivers are an important stakeholder segment for us, and the International Drivers' Day is apt to recognize their key role in driving the wheels of trade in our country." Meanwhile, Mr. R. Dinesh, who is the chairman of CII Institute of Logistics, said, "With an aim to acknowledge the men who spend a large part of their lives on the wheel, CII Institute of Logistics has partnered with Bridgestone to plan and implement a series of initiatives of recognizing and appreciating drivers and other transport industry partners. We would like to transform the image of the logistics sector, starting with recognition of unsung heroes of road transport, that is the drivers. Series of programs in near future will focus on improve professionalism and quality of service in transport and logistics sector. जैसे मैंने पहले कहा था, ड्राइवर्स इस देश के लिए ही नहीं, हम सब के लिए बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट है. हम गवर्नमेंट से ये दरख्वास्त करते हैं, हाथ जोड़ के प्रार्थना करते हैं कि गवर्नमेंट इन ड्राइवर्स के बारे में कुछ सोचें, हाईवेज़ पर इनके सहूलियतों के लिए कुछ सोचें. क्या ये मुमकिन है कि हम हर 100 किलोमीटर पर एक ड्राइवर पार्क बनाएं, जहां पर ड्राइवर्स को सिक्योर्ड पार्किंग फैसिलिटी मिले, जहां पर ड्राइवर चैन से आराम कर सके और बाकी उसकी ज़रूरतों की चीज़ें उसे मिल सके. हम ये नहीं चाहते कि ड्राइवर्स डे महज एक नाम बनकर रह जाए, एक इवेंट बनकर रह जाए. हम चाहते हैं कि ड्राइवर्स डे हर दिन मनाया जाए, ड्राइवर को हर दिन रिस्पेक्ट दी जाए. So here's once again saluting all our drivers out there, and besides wishing them Drivers Day, and besides wishing them a happy Drivers Day, we wish them a safe and secure journey and a safe and healthy life ahead. Friends, with this we'll take a short break, and after this break we will be back continuing our interaction with Mr. Jalaj Gupta, the commercial vehicle business head for Mahindra and Mahindra.
Before we go any further, let's take a quick look at this wonderful TVC.
याद है, कुछ इसी तरह का स्टंट मैंने आज से करीब 30 साल पहले भी किया था. लेकिन आज इस डबल ट्रक्स के स्टंट की वजह कुछ और है. डबल गारंटी. पेश है नया महिंद्रा फ्यूरियो 7, जो आता है डबल गारंटी के साथ. महिंद्रा ये गारंटी देते हैं कि उनके नए महिंद्रा फ्यूरियो 7 का माइलेज आपके मौजूदा ट्रक से ज्यादा है. अगर ऐसा नहीं हुआ तो कर दीजिए ट्रक वापस. नया महिंद्रा फ्यूरियो 7 आपको देता है गारंटीड रीसेल वैल्यू 5 साल के बाद. खरीदते समय माइलेज की गारंटी और बेचते समय रीसेल वैल्यू की गारंटी. तो हुई ना डबल गारंटी.
Here's talking to Mr. Jalaj Gupta on how the company is taking initiatives to help the entire transport ecosystem, which includes transporters, the children of transporters, the drivers, and also the children of drivers. At the same time, we talked to Jalaj on how the company is taking care of its dealer fraternity, which is so close to it.
So Jalaj, we've been seeing a lot of activity happening in various segments, be it reefer, ICV, road construction. When do you actually see the commercial vehicle industry getting back to its glorious days?
So, Harish, as you would know that commercial vehicle industry is a cyclical industry. There is a cycle of about 5 to 6 years that happens. FY19, which is financial year 18-19, was the year when the commercial vehicle industry was the highest in last 10 odd years. Okay. If your question after that, if you look at, the industry has been every year coming down, right? We believe that whatever we have seen as the COVID year is the year that the industry has hit its bottom, and now the industry is on its way up. But if you ask me, when is it that it will be able to peak? It will be able to peak to the original volumes of, let's say, FY19 or near about. It will not be before FY24 or FY25 that it will peak. But the silver lining is, the way we look at it is that from here onwards, from last year onwards, every year we will see the industry improving year on year. So we are on the right path. Whether that right path will peak in FY24 or FY25, that remains to be seen.
Do you see scrapping policy playing a role in this growth?
Absolutely, absolutely.
What are the implications or impact of this?
So apart from the impact in the the overall emission and the quality of air. It's a huge societal benefit that we are going to get. Second, in terms of the demand from a manufacturer point of view, we anticipate that over the next 3 to 5 years, it will spur the industry about 10 to 15% higher than what the industry would have been otherwise grown. So about 10 to 15% growth in the industry will come on account of the scrappage policy which has been implemented. The only I'll not say the flip side, the only thing is that because it is voluntary and it is fitness based, etc., it would have been even more advantageous to the industry if it was not voluntary, right, and it was mandatory. Let's say that at the end of the 15 years it has to be compulsorily, but then I will say that the penalties of failing a fitness test in case of a commercial vehicle, etc., are stringent enough for anybody to be maintaining the vehicle in a very, very appropriate manner. And there you see one of our Blazo cargo range of truck rolling out to the line itself.
Absolutely a beauty.
Yeah.
So Jalaj, the government has been asking OEMs to help in setting up scrapping centers. Is Mahindra looking at that option?
In fact, again a great question. In fact, we are one of the early ones who have taken a lead in this. So Mahindra has established a brand called Cero, CERO, towards the vehicle scrappage as a vehicle scrappage center. We have tied up with a Government of India agency called MSTC towards this. In fact, we are one of the first organized player who have got into this particular tie-up and who is setting up a proper full-fledged scrappage facility. Having said that, not only the OE, the scope of the scrappage center will have to be increased beyond OE to the private players, let's say a dealer or independent player, because the scope is very large. If you once the trucks and the cars they start coming in as for the scrappage center, the requirement of the scrappage center is going to be huge. So I am not too sure if OE alone will be able to fulfill that particular demand, but as a responsible citizen, we have taken the first step towards it.
Jalaj, one of the concerns of the industry is that the small truckers who will eventually be scrapping their trucks, how will they deal with their the livelihood, and how will they take it forward, because they have no means financially or operationally to buy brand new trucks?
So two things here, as I just told you, that the scrappage policy is not mandatory, it's voluntary still.
But if you fail, you're out any which way.
If you fail, then you have to maintain your, so two things, you have to maintain your trucks well, otherwise you will have to pay heavy penalties onto that particular thing. At a industry level, I'll just share with you one of the development which has happened post GST and post BS6. One development which has happened is the consolidation of the industry towards the big player and the big operator. We are clearly seeing this happening. Without commenting whether it is good or bad, but this is one clear trend which is that clear shift has happened, that today, be it because a very closely monitored GST regime and the BS6, because of the initial cost of the asset being high, we are clearly seeing that particular shift happening. So the big trucks, when it comes to the heavy commercial vehicle, we are seeing that consolidation that will happen. When it comes to the ILCV category, which is the intermediate and the light commercial vehicle category, there I think it will be still ruled by the individual owners, right. So even up till now, there is a government scheme of Mudra scheme. So any commercial vehicle which is less than 10 lakh, there was a subsidized loan facility which was available for the individual. So when it comes to the individual buyers, I will say the ILCV segment is the segment which will be primarily remaining a retail led industry. That is second point. Third point is financiers who have been slightly conservative because of the pandemic, because of the moratorium. If they start, there is a lot of liquidity we believe is there in the economy. Financiers are sitting with huge, in terms of the disbursable funds. But if they start having a slightly more and a positive optimistic outlook of the TIV and if the things start moving up, I think it will take care of the concern of an individual operator, because the funding of a product, if the profile of the operator is good, can go as high as 90% of the vehicle cost, vehicle price. So, I will tell you the thought process first, and then I will give you an update on these two, in fact a third one as well. So, the thought process is that we do not look at our business of selling trucks and buses and servicing them as a transactional. We believe in connecting with the transporter, their next generation, you know, over a relationship, and we want to build on that particular relationship. As it happens, we want the young entrepreneurs, the sons of the transporters, we want them to come back to this business and not look at this business something that their father did and something which is archaic and old, and they should look at, you know, some of the more glamorous business also. So, we want to bring that particular pride back into the business, that is one. B, we want to, so first was relationship, second was we want them to have that particular pride, and third one is we want to have a deeper consumer understanding by associating with them in various forums that we can, apart from, you know, just at a transaction level which we normally do. So, as a part of all these things, you know, what we did was we launched something called a Mahindra Transport Excellence Award. Very simple, we celebrate excellence in transport industry, right. Very seldom it happens that a driver, you know, is honored, called on the stage, facilitated by senior management or by, you know, a Bollywood star, etc. So, we wanted to bring some glory, some pride into the transport industry, which normally in India is not looked, is missing, right. So, that was one of the things for the Mahindra Transport Excellence Award. The 9 editions have already happened. We were waiting for, you know, because of the COVID or so, we could not do our 10th edition. Once the COVID scenario is lifted, we are rethinking on what's the new format that we want to, you know, get into the Mahindra Truck and Bus Award. It may not be just one big single function. We may want to go more local, make it more localized and closer to the industry, closer to the consumer, closer to a place. So, for example, if you want to honor somebody in Guwahati, there is no better, in Assam, there is no better place than to go to Guwahati and then have it over there. So, we may see a different format of Transport Excellence Award coming forward. So, that is one. Second, the IM program, which is called the Mahindra Empower in terms of the part, that is very much on. In fact, June was the through webinar we did the same particular session. This September again we are doing that. So, that process is constantly on. How do we teach, how do we impart knowledge through the best in the country, which is the IIM Ahmedabad, the knowledge and the nuances of doing your business better and in a profitable manner. So, it is an ongoing program, we intend continuing it. In fact, the September program has, we have got a confirmation from the Honorable Transport Minister. He would be coming there for the valedictory section, and that particular session is specifically focused on construction. Since you asked me the question about construction, so the construction equipment transporters and the tipper transporter, so that is a program focused especially on the construction equipment. There is a third one that is closest to my heart that I am going to talk about, which is called our Sarthi program. What does it do? It is a scholarship for the girl child of the driver. So, we specifically pick up the girl child of the driver, not of the operator, of the driver. We call for the entries, and last financial year, which is FY21, we disbursed 1093 Sarthi scholarship to the girl child of the drivers. 7,800 approximate cumulatively scholarships have been granted to various girl child, and this is one area, this is one program that I monitor it extremely closely, and we have all the intention of even scaling it up even further. So, these are 3 programs. So, one is the Transport Excellence Award, which honors the big transporters, right, some of the drivers. Then there is a IIM Ahmedabad particular program which targets the next generation, not the big daddy, but the next generation, And then the third one is the Sarthi program, which we try to touch and make a difference in the lives of the girl child of the driver. So these are the 3 programs that we do.
So Jalaj, one important element of any OE business is the dealers. How is Mahindra taking care of its dealers? And secondly, how is it training them to take care of BS6 trucks?
Yes, so great question. In fact, this is one area where we take great pride in. So as I told you that the migration of our BS6 trucks, it happened only around September, October. So in the first 6 months, what we did, we utilized the first 6 months both on the sales and the service side to train our network. Most of our, I'll say not most, I'll say almost all of our technicians, all of our sales executives, they were given multiple trainings online, you know, by our team using the first 6 months. And thereby what we did, we came with a very innovative idea. So once the theoretical part of the training was over, but for a service technician, unless on the truck training is given, the training is not completed. So what we did was, we had the first truck, whenever it reached the dealership, our team also went to the dealership, and that is where physically on the job training was done. Not only this, we have something called workshops, you know, which are vehicles carrying our aggregates and our various big equipments, you know, and which go from dealership to dealership, and over there we, you know, impart the training to the dealerships. So this was second. On the biggest challenge that we had during the pandemic, and even now also as we are ramping up our volumes, is the dealer profitability part, because the sales are not happening, the industry is very down. So we came out with 2-3 things that we did. One, we relooked at the cost structure of the dealerships. So the dealerships whereby some of the outlets, some of the showrooms, you know, which were made, and they were no longer so relevant, you know, we asked those particular showrooms to be scaled down, some of the outlets to be closed by the dealership, so that they operate from the workshop, etc. So we brought down the cost structure. That's the one thing that we did. Second thing what we did was, if the sale is not happening, can we ensure that the dealership remains profitable by the after sales or the workshop? So we came out with 2 concepts called service market share and service absorption ratio. What is a service market share? There is a dealer, he has a territory which has 100 trucks of Mahindra Truck and Bus business, and those 100 trucks should come at a frequency of, and they are the trucks sold in last 7 years. So last 7 years there is a vehicle park of 100 trucks. Those 100 trucks, as per the year and the number of kilometers that they have done, they should be coming to the workshop at, let's say, some frequency, and the multiplication of this frequency with the number of trucks, let's say, is 500. So 100 trucks, let's say very simply put, 5 times they have to come to the workshop in a year, so that's 500. So we came out with a concept of service market share, which means how much of 500 potential are our workshop able to utilize. So that whether the truck comes to the workshop or the dealership goes to the truck, either of the two. So suppose they are able to tap 250 times in 250 number of visits, you know, either by the truck to the workshop or by workshop to the truck. So this means your service market share is 50%, means there is still 50% potential available for you to tap. Now this resulted in something called a service absorption ratio. What is service absorption ratio? Very simple. I run a dealership, I have a total expense of 100 rupees, complete expense of 100 rupees, right? But from the workshop alone, my net income from workshop alone, let's say, is 50 rupees, right? So this means out of 100 rupee, 50 rupee of my expense can be offset if I just run the workshop and I don't do even a single vehicle sale. What we found, what in the pandemic year last year, we had 94 dealerships which were operational through workshop and all that. 40 out of 94 dealerships were able to meet 100% of their expenses only by the workshop income. So 40% of the dealership had a SAR or service absorption ratio greater than 100%, means even if they don't sell even a single vehicle, by just running the workshop itself they were profitable. So bringing down the cost structure and working on the the revenue, which is the service absorption ratio, we ensured this. And the best part was, we had one of our worst year in terms of our volumes and market share as far as the pandemic is concerned, simply because we started by only the second half of the year. Despite that, the FADA, which is Federation of Automobile Dealership Association, which is a all India body, a independent body. They do this annual survey along with I think it's one of the leading reputed market research company, whereby they go and they speak to all the dealers regarding their dealer satisfaction vis-a-vis the OE. So there is a survey which is done for the passenger vehicle, there is a survey which is done for the commercial vehicle industry. Despite one of the lowest volumes or in very little volumes per dealership which we sold last year, Mahindra Truck and Bus business came second among all the OEs in terms of the dealer satisfaction. So it is just not, and as I was telling you with the context of the transporters, it is just not the transaction. Yes, it is about money, right? But it goes beyond that. It is about the engagement. It is about working together as a team, which is what we ensure that we do along with the dealer. So this is what is the broad story, and now that we are poised that the TIV is growing, now the same dealer, the focus on the service market share and service revenue continues. The increased focus comes in terms of the increase in volume, and then the dealership will be profitable and we carry on the journey.
Oh, wonderful. So Jalaj, where do you see the future of the road transport industry from here on? And what about Mahindra? Where does this journey go?
So the transportation industry we see has a bright future. If you would have heard Prime Minister Modi on his 15th of August speech, he talked a concept called Gati Shakti. Now he is talking of integrating the various modes of transport. He is talking about railways in sync with road transport in sync with the sea movement, etc. So we do not see a railways or a ship movement as a competition. We see it as an opportunity which will bring in much more efficiency in the overall operations of transportation. So when it comes to transportation, the inherent strength of India and the Indian population, right, which is going to fuel the demand, is going to ensure that transportation will play a big role in the overall economy. The fuel type may change, right? Right now we are talking of only diesel. We may say some of the other fuels coming in, like a LNG or a CNG is already coming in, or a hydrogen in some time to come, etc. That will happen. When it comes to Mahindra Truck and Bus business, the company is fully committed to make this particular business a success. It's been a while that we have been there in the market, but now with BS6, the product we have got absolutely bang on right? The fuel efficiency advantage that we have with the product, okay? The focus or rather our obsession with the customer in terms of customer centricity, where a webinar or a Transport Excellence Award, that particular attitude, a very, very high degree of domain knowledge which sits in Mahindra Truck and Bus business and construction equipment business also makes, and a very motivated and an engaged channel, the dealership, makes me complete, I'm completely convinced that the road for us moving ahead is only very, very bright and prosperous.
So friends, that was Mr. Jalaj Gupta taking us through the Mahindra journey, the transition from BS4 to BS6, riding through the pandemic and coming to a stage where we are seeing a rainy but a bright future ahead of us. Keep watching Trans India, real people, real emotions.
We would request you to keep watching Trans India and at the same time subscribe to our channel. Friends, with this we end our 7th episode, and next we will be back with you with more news, more interviews and more opinions. So keep watching Trans India, real people, real emotions. And before you leave us, don't forget to subscribe to Trans India. Jai Hind.
Friends, next week we will be back with you. So keep watching Trans India, real people, real emotions. And before you leave us, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let's grow and let's make a future for this industry.